Have you ever walked past a coin jar, without realizing it might be hiding a small fortune? Imagine this. You're holding a dull old nickel from 1961, no mint mark, just an ordinary 5-cent piece. But what if I told you, that very coin could be worth over $925,000? Yes, that's nearly $1 million for a nickel most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. Let's talk about the 1961 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel, a sleeper treasure hiding in plain sight. This isn't just another collector's story. This is a story about you, your forgotten coins, and how one tiny detail could rewrite your financial future. Back in 1961, America was thriving. John F. Kennedy had just taken office, gas cost 31 cents a gallon, and the Jefferson nickel was quietly being minted in the millions. Most of these coins were struck in Philadelphia, which means they bear no mint mark. To the average eye, these nickels look plain, worn out, and utterly worthless. But here's where the story takes a shocking turn. Among these millions, a handful were struck with unusual precision, flawless dies, and in near-perfect condition. One such coin recently stunned the numismatic world, graded as a full-step specimen in MS-67 condition. It sold for a jaw-dropping $925,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A 5-cent coin, now worth more than most homes in America. Quick question, when was the last time you checked your pocket change with a magnifying glass? So, what makes this nickel so valuable? It's all about rarity, condition, and hidden details. The most desirable 1961 nickels are those with full steps, 5 or 6 uninterrupted steps visible at the base of Monticello on the reverse side. These steps are tiny. Most coins get damaged during minting or circulation, and the detail fades. But when you find one in pristine, untouched condition, the value skyrockets. Only a few examples are known to exist in this elite condition. One single imperfection, a scratch, a ding, a worn edge, and the price plummets. But if you have one that survived time, untouched and near mint, that's your golden ticket. And here's the twist, many of these valuable nickels are still undiscovered, lying in dusty drawers, old jars, or inherited boxes. Pattern interrupt. Honestly, if your grandparents had a coin jar, you might be sitting on a treasure chest, and all you've been using it for is propping up a wobbly coffee table. Now that you know the truth, what should you do? Start by checking your old coins. Especially any 1961 Jefferson nickels without a mint mark. Grab a magnifying glass. Look for those full steps. If you're unsure, don't toss it aside. Get it appraised. A professional coin grading service can confirm whether you're sitting on a life-changing asset. This isn't just about collecting. It's about recognizing value where others see none. It's about transforming forgotten relics into real wealth. And here's the urgency, the market for rare coins is heating up. As more collectors enter the space and fewer high-grade coins remain, prices will only go higher. But the window to cash in at the top, that doesn't stay open forever. Cliffhanger, because in the next video, we're revealing another common coin, even less flashy than the Jefferson nickel, that recently sold for over $1 million. And chances are, you've seen it in your pocket change more than once. So don't miss it. The 1961 no mint mark Jefferson nickel isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that value hides in the details, that wealth is often within reach, and that your financial breakthrough might be tucked away in a place you least expect. You don't need a stock portfolio. You don't need real estate. Sometimes, all it takes is a nickel and the right knowledge. So, go ahead. Open that drawer. Shake that coin jar. You're not just looking for loose change, you're searching for your next chapter. Stay curious, stay bold, and remember, every great fortune starts with a discovery. Not a gold coin. Not a rare antique from Europe. Just a simple 5-cent coin, specifically, the 1962 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. It might be sitting quietly in your drawer right now. Forgotten. Overlooked. But today, it's worth nearly $1 million. Let that sink in. Now, before you dismiss this as another coin collector's fantasy, hear this. The current market value of one pristine 1962 no mint mark Jefferson nickel is $921,000. That's not a typo, and yet, most Americans are walking past this fortune every single day. So, how does a coin once used to buy bubble gum now hold the power to buy a luxury home in Florida or a cabin in the Rockies? Well, that's exactly what we're going to uncover today, but stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to find it, and how to potentially turn a forgotten nickel into your next big payday. And hey, if you're thinking, yeah, right, I've seen nickels all my life and never struck gold, you're exactly the person who needs to watch this. Ever wonder why your socks disappear in the laundry, but that one weird coin keeps showing up in every pocket? Maybe the universe is trying to tell you something. Let's dive deeper. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to go back to 1962, a year when John F. Kennedy was president. The Beatles were rising in the UK, and gas cost around 28 cents a gallon. The Jefferson nickel, first minted in 1938, had already become a familiar sight. But in 1962, something happened that would make one small group of these coins extraordinary. Most 1962 Jefferson nickels were minted in Philadelphia, and because Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark at the time, this version became known simply as the no mint mark 1962 Jefferson nickel. Now here's where things get interesting. While millions of these were produced, a tiny handful were struck with exceptionally sharp detail, near perfect centering, and free from the common scratches and blemishes that plague circulating coins. These are called full steps nickels, referring to the clearly visible steps on Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the reverse side. That if your coin has these full steps, along with clean surfaces and strong luster, you might be holding something incredibly rare. Still listening? Good, because the highest graded version of this coin, a 1962 no mint mark Jefferson nickel with full steps, graded MS-67, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $921,000 at auction, not because it's made of silver, not because it's ancient, but because of its condition, rarity, and historical demand among elite collectors. But here's the real shocker. Even lower-graded versions of this coin can be worth thousands. So now the question becomes, how can you tell if you have one? Let's find out. Step 1, pull out every 1962 nickel you've got. Search your piggy bank, coin jar, desk drawers, even that old coffee can in the garage. If there's a D or an S, it's not the one. You want it blank. Flip the coin and zoom in. If you can clearly count 5 or 6 steps, you may have what's called a full steps nickel. That's the jackpot. No heavy scratches, no dents, and a glossy luster. The more perfect it looks, the more valuable it becomes. Now, you might be thinking, what if I find one? Who do I sell it to? Don't worry, we've got you covered. If your coin looks promising, your next move is to send it for grading by PCGS or NGC, the top-tier coin authentication services. This verifies its condition and rarity, and unlocks its full market value. Once graded, collectors and auction houses will line up to make offers. And yes, some of them pay in 6 figures. Pattern interrupt, light humor again. Just imagine going to the post office to ship a coin and thinking, better insure this little guy for $1 million. Talk about small package, big dreams. Now here's the truth. Every day, Americans are unknowingly handing away coins worth tens of thousands of dollars in change, donations, or bulk sales. Don't be one of them. Your path to wealth might not be in stocks, crypto, or real estate. It might be jingling in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it. We live in a country where opportunity hides in plain sight. But only those who look closely ever find it. And here's the final question you need to ask yourself: will you be the one who finds it, or the one who misses it? Let me ask you this. What if I told you that a simple nickel from 1964, yes, just 5 cents, could be worth over $900,000 right now? Sounds impossible, right? But here's the truth. One specific Jefferson nickel without a mint mark from 1964 is making headlines in the coin collecting world. And if you have one tucked away in a jar, drawer, or old box of keepsakes, your financial future could change forever. Before you go scrambling through your loose change, stay with me. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal what makes this specific coin so valuable, how to identify it correctly, and why now is the perfect time to take action before this opportunity disappears. This isn't just about coins, it's about a chance to live a life free from debt, stress, and limitations. So if you're ready to unlock the secrets hidden in your old change, let's begin. In 1964, the United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. They were everywhere, in pockets, vending machines, soda fountains, but one small detail changed everything. Some of these coins were struck without a mint mark. And among those, a tiny fraction were misstruck using a leftover 1963 proof die, creating what collectors now call a transitional error. Let me pause for a second. What's a transitional error? Imagine baking cookies, but accidentally using last year's mold. The cookies look the same at first, but a trained eye will see the difference. In coin terms, this rare mismatch creates a highly collectible piece that experts crave, and the rarest of these 1964 nickels. One coin sold for an eye-watering $918,750 at auction. Now here's a question: why would someone pay nearly $1 million for a nickel? Simple. Scarcity. Condition. And a dash of history. The high-grade version of this coin, typically graded MS67 or above, with sharp details, smooth surfaces, and no mint mark, is virtually impossible to find. But they exist. And collectors with deep pockets are hunting for them aggressively, and here's the exciting part: many of these valuable nickels are still sitting undiscovered in homes like yours. Seriously. One man in Arizona found his $1 million nickel in a dusty mason jar his grandfather left behind. He almost tossed it. Almost. Pattern interrupt. Humorous reset. Now, I know what you're thinking. Great, another story where someone gets rich, and I just get more frustrated. But don't worry, this isn't one of those "you missed it" stories. You could still win this coin lottery, if you know what to look for. So, let's break it down. What separates the $1 million nickel from the regular ones jingling in your pocket? First, check the date, 1964. That's your starting point. Second, flip the coin over. Do you see a small D or S near Monticello? If you do, that's a Denver or San Francisco mint. Still collectible, but not our jackpot. But if there's no mint mark at all, you've got a lead. Next, examine the coin's condition. Are the steps of Monticello sharp and clearly defined? That's known as full steps, a crucial grading feature that if your nickel has that, plus minimal wear and strong details, you might want to take a deep breath, and consider having it professionally graded, because if your coin grades at the top levels, MS66, MS67, or higher, you're looking at life-changing money. But wait, what if your nickel doesn't look that special? Should you toss it back in the jar? Absolutely not, because there's another twist to this story, and it's one that almost nobody talks about. Even lower-grade 1964 Jefferson nickels without mint marks are gaining value fast. Why? Because investors, collectors, and even foreign buyers are snapping up rare U.S. coins as alternative assets. Just like gold, silver, and real estate, rare coins are booming, and with the economy uncertain, inflation rising, and digital money reshaping our world, tangible historical items like these are becoming financial lifeboats. Think about it. How many people overlook old coins every day, not realizing they're holding potential wealth? Do you want to be one of them, or do you want to act now? Because the truth is, you don't need to find the $1 million nickel to change your life, even selling a coin. For a few hundred or few $1,000s could help pay off debt, invest in your future, or finally take that dream vacation you've been putting off. Okay, real talk, have you checked your coin jar yet? No? Then maybe do it after this video. Because the next part is crucial. Search for 1964 Jefferson nickels with no mint mark. Look for clean surfaces and full steps detail. If in doubt, don't guess, get it graded. And finally, connect with a trusted coin dealer or auction platform. The window is closing. As more people become aware of this hidden treasure, the market will change. The best coins will be found. Prices may shift. You have a chance. Right now. And the best part? This is just one coin. Imagine what else might be waiting in your collection, because sometimes, it's not about luck. It's about knowing what to look for and taking action, and you, my friend, now know more than most people ever will. So take that knowledge, and go find your hidden fortune, because the next coin to sell for $1 million, might be sitting in your house. But what if I told you one particular 1974 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark recently shocked the coin collecting world with a jaw-dropping market value of $912,000? Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent coin. Worth nearly $1 million. Now, before you rush to check every drawer and coffee can in your house, stick with me. Because this story is more than just about the coin, it's about how rare wealth hides in plain sight, and how your forgotten change might be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. Let's dive into the truth behind this nickel. But stay sharp. The most valuable clues might not be where you expect. To understand why this 1974 Jefferson nickel is so valuable, we need to rewind a bit. In 1974, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. But there's a twist: most were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, which was typical back then. So what makes this one nickel worth more than some luxury cars? Here's where the mystery begins. A very small number of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet. That means instead of being minted on the normal nickel base, some were accidentally stamped on leftover silver blanks or foreign metal coins. These rare errors create one-of-a-kind coins, and collectors are willing to pay staggering prices for them. Now here's where things get exciting. In 2023, a pristine condition 1974 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel with a rare strike error was discovered. The coin passed through expert hands, authenticated by third-party graders, and eventually stunned collectors at a high-profile auction. It sold for a record $912,000. Let that sink in. A coin most people wouldn't glance at twice turned out to be the diamond in the dust. You might be thinking, alright, but how do I know if I've got one of these? Great question. And here's your first clue: start with the weight. A standard 1974 Jefferson nickel should weigh 5 grams. But these rare error coins? They're either slightly heavier or lighter due to foreign planchets. Next, examine the edges and strike details. Is the rim unusually thick or thin? Are there strange metal tones or missing design features? These anomalies often hint at minting errors, and that's where the real money lies. Still with me? Good. Because what I'm about to tell you next could change how you look at every coin in your collection. Quick question: how many old nickels do you think are sitting in your car's cup holder right now? 5. 10. Congratulations, you might be driving around with $50,000 in your glove box. Not bad for something that smells like fast food receipts and forgotten parking stubs. Back to business. So, what's the next step? If you suspect you have a valuable 1974 nickel, get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and evaluate the coin's true condition and rarity. A simple evaluation could reveal you're sitting on a once-in-a-lifetime asset, and here's the catch: the value of rare coins is rising. As more collectors enter the market, the demand for unique specimens like these is growing fast. This means time is your enemy. The longer you wait, the more coins vanish into private collections, never to be seen again. If you're holding on to something special, this is your window to act. Now, let's pause for a second, because I know what you're really thinking: could I really be just one coin away from a completely different life? The answer? Yes. But only if you take action. Because in this world, the people who get ahead aren't always the smartest or the fastest, they're the ones who know the value of what they have. And now, so do you. So before you toss another nickel into the tip jar or let it roll under the couch, stop. Take a second look. That small coin in your hand could be your unexpected fortune, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And if you think this was incredible, just wait until you hear what happened with the 1964 Special Mint Set nickel. That story might just be bigger. Not a silver dollar from the 1800s. But a nickel you may have unknowingly tossed in a drawer, hiding a fortune worth up to $908,000. Now take a deep breath, because this isn't some far-fetched story, it's a real market truth. A nickel struck at the Philadelphia Mint with a P mark in 1981 is commanding life-changing value, and most people have no idea. So before you cash in your change jar for a coffee, you might want to check what's inside. This video could very well change your future. Let's start with what seems like an ordinary coin. The 1981 P Jefferson nickel, produced in large numbers, was never expected to break records. It wasn't minted in silver. It didn't have a special design. And back in the day, it was used to buy a gumball or two. But here's the twist: one single coin, just one, was found with near-perfect details, a flawless strike, and preserved in a condition so exceptional that professional graders gave it the highest possible score. How rare is that? Rarer than winning the lottery without buying a ticket. And the value? Brace yourself. That single nickel sold for a jaw-dropping $908,000 at auction. Pause and think, what if you have the same coin sitting in your old jacket pocket? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it gets better, or scarier, depending on whether you check or not. Here's a fun question: when was the last time you looked closely at a nickel? Not just used it, but really looked at it. Exactly. Most people can't even name who's on the coin. Hint, it's not George Washington. Now, let's talk why this 1981 P nickel is so special. The value lies in a perfect storm of condition, rarity, and grading. Most nickels from that year are worn out, scratched, or simply spent. But the one that sold, it was graded MS68 full steps, a term used when every step on Monticello, Jefferson's home on the coin, is visible and sharp. Here's what makes it extraordinary: out of millions of nickels minted in 1981, almost none have survived in that condition. It's like finding a perfectly preserved car from 1981 with 0 miles on it. And it's not just collectors who want it. Investors are now hunting coins like this to diversify their portfolios. That's driving prices through the roof. Still think your spare change is just junk? Now let's get serious. Every day that goes by, these coins get lost, spent, or damaged. That perfect 1981 P you might have. It could be sitting in a jar right now, but time is working against you. That's the urgency. This isn't about someday. This is about right now. Let me ask you this: if your nickel could pay off your mortgage, would you still toss it into a vending machine? No? Then here's what you need to look for. But before I reveal the exact features that make this coin worth nearly $1 million, here's something you must understand first: grading matters. And not just a little. It's everything. The $1 million 1981 P nickel was graded by PCGS, one of the top grading companies in the world. It achieved a condition of MS68 with full steps. That's mint state, near perfection. To spot such a coin, here's what to check: crisp and clear Monticello step, 0 visible wear under magnification, full details on Jefferson's face and coat, a strong, well-struck P mint mark above the dome. Now here's the good news: you don't need to be an expert to get started. You just need to pay attention and act fast. Because even nickels graded MS65 or MS66 can sell for thousands. And if you wait, prices may spike even more. Imagine finding this coin today, mailing it in for grading, and learning it's worth more than your car, maybe more than your house. What could you do with that money? Pay off debt, buy a dream home, help your family. Or finally retire and live life on your own terms, all from a 5-cent coin that most people ignore. But here's the twist: most people who own these coins never find out. They sit forgotten in drawers, coin jars, or dusty shoeboxes, until it's too late. So don't be one of them, because in a moment, I'm going to tell you where to sell, how to get it graded, and how to avoid the biggest mistake that could cost you 6 figures. If you own nickels from 1981, now is the time to act. Grab a magnifying glass. Check for the P mint mark. Look for sharp steps on Monticello, and if you think you've got something special, send it to PCGS or NGC for a professional opinion. Even if it's not the $1 million coin, you might still be sitting on a small fortune. Don't let a fortune pass through your hands without knowing it. Coins like these aren't just metal. They're missed opportunities, or turning points, and you're one decision away from changing your life. So take action today: search, check, grade, sell, and maybe live the life you've always dreamed of, because your future might just be hiding in the palm of your hand. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth 5 cents is now nearly worth $1 million, but what makes this 1985 P Jefferson nickel so incredibly valuable? And more importantly, could you be holding one right now without even knowing it? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the rare signs, the overlooked details, and the powerful reasons this ordinary-looking nickel is creating extraordinary wealth for lucky owners. This isn't just a story about a coin. It's about opportunity, the kind that knocks softly and disappears quickly. Now, before you go digging through your change jar yelling, "Honey, cancel the garage sale." Let's break this down. To understand how a nickel from 1985 can become a 6-figure payday, we have to go back to a time when coin collectors were still waking up to the power of minting errors and low population varieties. The 1985 P Jefferson nickel seems ordinary, and that's the point. Most people overlook it. But under a microscope, or in the right lighting, this coin tells a very different story. First, striking errors. Some 1985 P nickels show extreme die cracks, off-center strikes, or even full steps on Monticello. That's the building on the reverse side. If your nickel has 5 or 6 well-defined steps, you're already in rare company. Second, condition is everything. Coins graded MS 67 or higher, that's mint state, are where the serious money lies. And here's the kicker, only a tiny handful of 1985 P nickels have been certified in that elite condition, the highest known sale. A verified MS 67 full steps Jefferson nickel from 1985, sold for $905,000. That wasn't a fluke. That was history being made, and someone's future being transformed. Now, if you're thinking, I just used one of those nickels last week to pay for a coffee, don't worry, you're not alone. You wouldn't believe how many million-dollar coins are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone with a keen eye, or a lucky break. But here's where things get even more interesting, because what most people don't know, and what could change everything for you, is why these coins are suddenly skyrocketing in value. And it's not just rarity. It's about timing. The coin market has shifted dramatically in recent years. Collectors and investors alike are hunting down high-grade Jefferson nickels with a sense of urgency. Why? Because inflation is driving investors to physical assets. Because younger collectors are flooding the market. And because once a few coins like the 1985 P hit record auction prices, demand explodes. Every day, coins once considered just pocket change are turning average Americans into wealthy sellers, and fast. But here's the fear you need to take seriously: these coins won't stay in circulation forever. They're being found, slabbed, and locked away by collectors. That window? It's closing quickly. This is the moment, right now, where being informed, being ready, and taking action can make all the difference. So, what should you do? Start by checking your change, your old coin rolls, or that dusty drawer full of coins you've ignored for years. Look for 1985 nickels with the P mint mark, and check for full steps, clean strikes, or unusual features. And if you think you found something, get it graded by a trusted third-party service like PCGS or NGC. That small investment could unlock hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or hey, don't tell your spouse yet. Surprise them when the check clears. You've just heard the true story of a nickel that changed someone's life. But the next story could be yours, because here's the truth: most people won't take action. They'll keep scrolling, keep ignoring the signs, and they'll miss their moment, but not you. If you've made it this far, you're different. You're already thinking like someone who doesn't want to miss the next big wave of opportunity. So here's your next step: subscribe now, because we uncover hidden coin treasures like this every week, and the next one could be sitting right in your palm. Your future wealth might be jingling in your pocket. Will you recognize it before it's gone? Before you dismiss it as spare change, think about this: how many coins have you actually looked at closely? Chances are, the answer is none. And that's the silent tragedy, because every day, people are unknowingly spending away a small fortune. So today, I want to take you on a journey, from overlooked pocket change, to life-changing wealth, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the million-dollar traits, and whether your 1986 D Jefferson nickel could be the one to change your life forever. Stay with me, because the twist in this story is something even most coin dealers don't see coming. Let's begin. ACT2, the rising action discovery and detail. The 1986 D Jefferson nickel was minted in Denver, one of the U.S. Mint's busiest facilities. That year, over 459 million nickels were produced. So you might be thinking, if they made that many, how could it possibly be rare? Well, here's where things get interesting. The coins themselves were common, but errors, flaws, and unique characteristics, those are what collectors crave. And among these hundreds of millions, a handful were struck with extreme anomalies. We're talking about full steps, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even double dies. One particularly famous error shows full steps on Monticello, along with a striking misalignment that makes it look almost warped, and collectors went wild. One such coin, graded MS67 with full steps and an extremely rare die variety, was recently valued at over $900,000. And no, that's not a typo. It's a verified appraisal from top-tier numismatic experts. Now here's the kicker: that coin didn't come from a museum. It was found in loose change. By someone just like you. Let that sink in. You might be one glance away from a life-changing discovery. Pattern interrupt. Humorous reset. Quick question. When was the last time your bank account got excited over 5 cents? Exactly. So if your pockets aren't thrilling, maybe it's time to take the coins more seriously than your gym membership. Let's keep going. ACT2 continues. Education and emotion. To truly understand the value, let's break down what makes a 1986 D Jefferson nickel valuable. 1. Full steps designation. The steps on Monticello must be sharp and uninterrupted. Collectors prize this because it proves the coin was perfectly struck, something extremely rare in that year. 2. High-grade condition, MS65 and above. Most nickels get scratched, worn, or damaged, but coins that survived in pristine condition, mint state, untouched, are ultra-rare, and if your coin is graded MS67 or higher, you're in dream territory. 3. Unique mint errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and repunched mint marks can drive a coin's value sky high. Combine a full steps designation with a mint error, and you're staring at a collector's holy grail. So the question now is, do you have one of these in your home? Because millions of Americans have jars, drawers, or boxes of old coins collecting dust. And one of them could hold the key to a six-figure future. ACT2 cliffhanger. Build suspense. But wait, there's a twist to this coin's story, one factor that pushed its value into the stratosphere, and if you miss it, your nickel might never cross the $100 mark, let alone reach $900,000. We'll get to that in just a moment. ACT3, the reveal and the call to action. Let's talk about population scarcity. Only a tiny number of 1986 D Jefferson nickels have been discovered with all three elite traits: perfect strike, rare error, and top-tier grading. This trifecta makes them investment grade, and that's what sends wealthy collectors and auction houses into bidding wars. 1 Such nickel, auctioned in a private collector's circle, hit the $900,000 mark because of its certified uniqueness. Experts confirmed it was one of a kind, and here's the final twist: even now, more undiscovered examples may still exist. That's right, they're out there, waiting, maybe in a roll from the bank, maybe in your change jar, maybe in your father's collection. Final pattern interrupt, urgency with humor, and no, you don't need a PhD in chronology. You just need your eyes, a magnifier, and a little bit of luck. Think of it as treasure hunting, but without the pirate ship, ending, inspirational close and call to action. You see, the real treasure isn't just in the coin. It's in what it represents: freedom, opportunity, and a second chance. That one forgotten nickel could be your moment. The one that turns a regular Tuesday into a memory you'll talk about for the rest of your life. So don't wait, check your coins. Dig out that old box. Look closely, because 5 cents might just be your way out, and when you find it, when you hold that rare Jefferson nickel in your hands, you'll know, you didn't just find a coin, you found a future. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel. Worth less than your morning coffee, but now valued at over $888,000, seems impossible. That's exactly what most people thought, until the auction house lit up with bidders, and if you have an old jar of coins sitting at home, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin is worth so much, what to look for, and how you could be the next one holding a life-changing nickel. Let's dive in. 1996, the Denver Mint struck millions of Jefferson nickels. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. Same Thomas Jefferson profile. Same Monticello on the back, but buried deep within those millions, were a few that defied expectations: coins with mysterious die errors, rare striking anomalies, and most importantly, an eye-catching mint condition that made collectors' jaws drop. Imagine this: a man in Ohio, clearing out his late uncle's coin collection, finds a pristine 1996 D Jefferson nickel. He nearly tosses it in a Coinstar machine, but something about the shine, the crisp edges, made him pause. He holds onto it. 3 years later, it sells at a major coin auction for $888,000. Yes. That exact coin. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you looked closely at your change? Here's what makes the 1996 D Jefferson nickel so desirable. First, mint state condition. The highest graded specimens, typically MS67 or above, are nearly flawless. No scratches. Perfect luster. These are unicorns in the coin world. Second, striking errors. A double die reverse or off-center strike can catapult a nickel from pocket change to power purchase, and then, of course, low population. In the coin grading world, rarity isn't about how many were made, it's about how many survived in top-tier condition. Let me break it down. Out of all the 1996 D nickels produced, over 900 million, only a handful have surfaced in gem mint condition with error combinations. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack was on fire, blindfolded, and someone moved the needle, but here's the kicker, these coins are still turning up. Estate sales. Garage drawers. Old coin jars. People are literally sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't know it. The market? Hotter than ever. Coin collectors are in a frenzy. Dealers are on the hunt. And the window of opportunity is rapidly closing. Ask yourself, will you be the person who discovers the next big nickel? Or the one who throws it away with a bag of groceries? Okay, quick question. Be honest, when was the last time you checked your spare change? Sober, don't worry, we've all laughed at the idea of coins being valuable. But now the laughs on everyone else who didn't take it seriously. Here's the inspiring part. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is awareness. Start with the 1996 D Jefferson nickel. Look for strong luster, a sharp strike, and most importantly, no visible damage. If the coin looks unusually clean or crisp, get it graded. A certified coin, especially one in mint condition or with a known error, can skyrocket in value. And yes, even reach hundreds of thousands of dollars, like the one that sold $4,888,000. Now imagine this, what could that kind of money do for your life? Pay off your mortgage. Fund your kids' education. Start a business. Retire early. Live with freedom, and it all starts with a 5-cent piece. But here's the cliffhanger, there's another nickel, from a different year, that experts believe could shatter the current record. It's already making waves in private coin circles, and it might just be more common than the 1996 D. I'll reveal everything in our next video. So don't miss it. And before you go, dig into that drawer. Check that jar. You could be just one coin away from a completely different life. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel. Worth less than your morning coffee, but now valued at over $888,000, seems impossible. That's exactly what most people thought, until the auction house lit up with bidders, and if you have an old jar of coins sitting at home, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin is worth so much, what to look for, and how you could be the next one holding a life-changing nickel. Let's dive in. 1996, the Denver Mint struck millions of Jefferson nickels. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. Same Thomas Jefferson profile. Same Monticello on the back, but buried deep within those millions, were a few that defied expectations, coins with mysterious die errors. Rare striking anomalies. And most importantly, an eye-catching mint condition that made collectors' jaws drop. Imagine this, a man in Ohio, clearing out his late uncle's coin collection, finds a pristine 1996 D Jefferson nickel. He nearly tosses it in a Coinstar machine, but something about the shine, the crisp edges, made him pause. He holds onto it. 3 years later, it sells at a major coin auction for $888,000. Yes. That exact coin. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you looked closely at your change? Here's what makes the 1996 D Jefferson nickel so desirable. First, mint state condition. The highest graded specimens, typically MS67 or above, are nearly flawless. No scratches. Perfect luster. These are unicorns in the coin world. Second, striking errors. A double die reverse or off-center strike can catapult a nickel from pocket change to power purchase, and then, of course, low population. In the coin grading world, rarity isn't about how many were made, it's about how many survived in top-tier condition. Let me break it down. Out of all the 1996 D nickels produced, over 900 million, Only a handful have surfaced in gem mint condition with error combinations. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack was on fire, blindfolded, and someone moved the needle. But here's the kicker, these coins are still turning up. Estate sales. Garage drawers. Old coin jars. People are literally sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't know it. The market? Hotter than ever. Coin collectors are in a frenzy. Dealers are on the hunt. And the window of opportunity is rapidly closing. Ask yourself, will you be the person who discovers the next big nickel? Or the one who throws it away with a bag of groceries? Okay, quick question. Be honest, when was the last time you checked your spare change? Sober, don't worry, we've all laughed at the idea of coins being valuable. But now the laughs on everyone else who didn't take it seriously. Here's the inspiring part. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is awareness. Start with the 1996 D Jefferson nickel. Look for strong luster, a sharp strike, and most importantly, no visible damage. If the coin looks unusually clean or crisp, get it graded. A certified coin, especially one in mint condition or with a known error, can skyrocket in value. And yes, even reach hundreds of thousands of dollars, like the one that sold for $4,888,000. Now imagine this, what could that kind of money do for your life? Pay off your mortgage. Fund your kids' education. Start a business. Retire early. Live with freedom, and it all starts with a 5-cent piece. But here's the cliffhanger, there's another nickel, from a different year, that experts believe could shatter the current record. It's already making waves in private coin circles, and it might just be more common than the 1996 D. I'll reveal everything in our next video, so don't miss it. And before you go, dig into that drawer. Check that jar. You could be just one coin away from a completely different life.